What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Dax Brule here, back with another one. Today it's going to be quick and easy. I'm going to show you how I edit my photos in Lightroom CC, my workflow for that. So let's hop into the computer, I'm going to show you my strategies. So we're going to hop into Lightroom right here, and I was editing recently some photos for a photo shoot I did, which was a DSLR versus iPhone challenge, and pretty much I have all my photos here that I imported, and I have to edit them and choose the 10 best ones. So pretty much you're going to come over here to File, you're going to go to Import Photos, and that's where you're going to go, and you're going to scroll through either your local disk or if you have a drive, an external drive, and you can pop that menu down. If you don't know how to get to the documents and downloads pages, those main pages that most people have, you're gonna go to local disk, users, and then your name, and then you can see all the different ones. So I can see my download pages, my favorite pages. So once you have all your photos imported in the previous import, I like to do a little organization, and what you can do with that is called collections. So in collections, I'm going to put a plus mark here. You're going to press create a collection set or create a collection. A collection set is like a folder that can hold folders, while a collection is a folder that can only hold photos. So if I create a collection set here, just to get more organized, I'm going to put it September. As you can see, it's already in use because I made one already. And then you do the drop down, and in September, I'm going to put all the different photo shoots I do in September. 18th was the day I shot it, iPhone versus DSLR. So in September I had that. These are both collection sets because they can hold folders. And then once I drop that down, I have two collections. One is all and one is best. What all is I'm going to import all my photos. I'm going to drag and drop, click on the first one, shift click on the last one, and I can grab any photo and it's going to pick them up as you can see there, and it's going to drop them. As you can see, they're all in the all folder now. So now they're all organized, and if I ever need to come back and find where they are, I can easily come and look at all the photos I took from that day. So what I'll do next is I'll click here. I'm going to go to the photos and use the right and left arrow keys to scroll through the photos and choose which one I like the most. But when I find one that I do like, I'm just going to find a way to mark it. So you can either put a 5-star and then later come to Smart Collections right here. You'll have this. If you don't, you can add a smart collection. And what the smart collections are is they organize it by metadata. So I can come in here, and if I 5-star this one, it's instantly going to go into the 5-star folder, and then I'll be able to see all the ones that I 5-starred. Another technique you can do to make sure you differentiate your all photos into your best photos is just simply dragging and dropping. So you can make that collection called best and then drag and drop it in. So once you've organized all your photos here, I'm going to come into the best folder, and this is when I'm going to start. So usually I will edit pretty much all the ones that I like, but today, since it's an editing challenge and I only need 10 photos for this challenge, I'm only allowed. So I'm going to choose 10 photos real quick, the top 10 out of these 23 that I originally liked. But I'm gonna go through here, pick 10, and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, so I got my 10 photos. So I got my 10 photos here, and pretty much now I'm gonna hop into one of the photos. And I'm quickly gonna pull your attention to the right side here. Quick Develop tab. Everyone always says, oh, that's for vendors. Oh, doesn't work. But if you don't know what it does, is automatically fix your photos so that they look better and they have a good base plate. When editing, there's two steps. There's color correction and color grading. You want to make sure you start with a good base before you put on your creative adjustments. So looking here, this photo looks a little underexposed, I would say. So maybe I'll come here. I'm gonna just see what the auto does. As you can see, it brings up that nice exposure. It add a little grain into the image, which is unfortunate. Also here, the white balance is a lot off. So I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna hit auto, and as you can see, it cools it down a bit. It just looks a bit better. So now I have that base exposure to come into the Develop tab and start putting on my creative adjustment. And another cool feature that you might not know about, if you click on this little button here, it can show you the clipping of the black and the clipping of the white. You can click on that to see, then slowly drag your black slider off the histogram to bring those up. Now you can see I got no blacks being clipped by the image. So now I have that base exposure. My basic tab's been used, and one thing I did miss that I do not do in the original image is add clarity. So I'm gonna come here, just boost that clarity up a bit. It's just gonna make that a little bit sharper. Also, as you can see, I'm zooming in here to see the detail in the different images. It's a good technique to have, and you can do it here in the Navigator tab where you can choose your zoom levels just to see what the image looks like. Because if it looks good from a close, usually the further you go out, it'll look better. So I got that, I got my clarity. Just gonna close that up there. I'm gonna go to the tone curve. This is where I'll make my creative adjustments. Make things darker, lighter, this, that, to make it look like a moody image, like a happy image, like a colorful image, whatever kind of look you're going for. This image here, I'm gonna go for a very high classy street technology vibe. I'm gonna try to see if I can add some blues here and there, a cool tone, but I do wanna add some more contrast because it's not as contrasty. So I'm just gonna drop those shadows. The shadows and the darks are always on the left side of the histogram. The top is gonna be the whites. It makes sense. You know, the lighter it gets, the darker it gets. And then I'm gonna boost those up just to make it just a tad, not as much as that. Now I'm gonna go to the blue channel. As you can see, RGB will do all the luma. This will cover the blue channel. I'm gonna see if I can just add a little smidgen of blue into the highlights. Now you can see it's a lot more interesting over here with the blue and the highlights and the blue there. Now moving on to color, this is where I'll make the major color adjustments because you have so much more sliders. And this is where I'll be able to decide how much blue I really want in this image and how light it is. So there you go, I'm just gonna add some saturation, some luminance. I'm gonna leave the hue because I think this is a good looking hue. And then I'm gonna go to the color sliders, and usually I'm gonna tell you, these three here are gonna be the ones you have to be most careful for, especially if you're doing portraits, because this is where the skin tones lie, orange, red, and yellow. So always be careful, but this is not a portrait shot, so I can play around with it like crazy. I'm gonna for sure add some more orangish red in there, add a little more saturation. So that's good there. I'm always gonna jump in between sliders. One thing I will tell you is never do all your color corrections and then go away and never come back to that tab. I say do a little color correction, hop into split toning, add a little split toning so you can slowly and surely see the different things. If you ruin your image via color, if you just boost all the colors right away, you're never gonna be able to see what the image could have looked like if you put a little less color. And instead of coloring, you substituted that with some split toning. I'm gonna add some more blue into the highlights here. I'm just gonna go down all the sliders and I'm gonna go down another time, and then by the end, I'll know what works well for the image, because different sliders don't work in different images. That is one thing to keep note of, is some sliders will not do anything. Or don't look as well. So I will add a little tad of noise reduction just because I did see some noise. Lens correction is a great one to always use. I always use that just to correct distortion of the lens. So I always use that as well as chromatic aberrations. Transform, I don't touch as much. I will let you know. It's more for perspective kind of things. And for me, I usually don't have an issue with perspective, but they do have these presets here that sometimes I will play around with. Finally, effects is a good one if you want to add some vignetting back in, but I never really go for vignetting anymore, especially the white one. No one ever touches that. And finally, grain is a good one that I will use for certain film type photos. So I'm just gonna hop through here and jump through all my sliders. I'll leave it in a little speeded up time so you guys can see what I am actually doing, and then I'll come back with the final product. Okay, so I got my final image here. This is pretty much it. But that's pretty much my workflow. So once I'm done doing that for all of these photos, I will have 10 different exposures with different styles and everything. I will come here and I will select them all, simply go shift click, right click, come down to export, then I will come and I will choose where I want to export, where I want to choose where it goes and downloads. Then I will upload it to whatever I need. And depending on the file size too, when you're exporting, you can choose different file sizes. If you're new to Lightroom and don't know what to do, always choose JPEG. That's what pretty much all the internet uses. It's pretty much the export go-to. And you can choose your quality. Just keep in mind that if you keep the quality higher, it will make a larger file, so you will have to use more space. That is all I will tell you. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it helped you out learning a couple things about my workflow in Lightroom and how I edit. Feel free to send me all your edits. Tell me if this helped you guys in the comments below. And if you appreciate me, you know, coming on here and showing you my tips and tricks. Obviously, I am not the most skilled user at Lightroom, but I do know a thing or two. And I feel like some new people could use that information. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.